what's up guys? Bajheera here. Now before we get down to the video, I have something very exciting to share with you guys. So we have been nominated in the 2014 Blizzard Stream Awards, powered by Twitch of course, for the category of Favorite WoW PvP Streamer. Now this is pretty crazy to be recognized by Twitch and by Blizzard, I suppose, for, you know, putting in a good amount of work in 2014 in terms of streaming some WoW PvP, and that's awesome. So even though I've already voted, what this means for you guys is you guys get a chance to go vote for your favorite streamer. And hopefully, since you're watching this video, that means that you do enjoy my content, you do enjoy my stream, and I can count on your vote for the favorite WoW PvP streamer in 2014 category. I'll be sure to get the link in the description for you guys to be on the lookout for that. I'm pretty excited just to be a part of it, but 2014 was an amazing year for us, and this would be a pretty neat way to cap it off. But either way, guys, thank you so much for your support. Hope to have your vote, and enjoy the video, guys. Alright, so this is going to be another 6.1 Arms Warrior PvP commentary. Keep in mind that even though this is before the 10% PvP damage nerf, a lot of the playstyle of Arms is still the same for you guys. So, you know, these tips are still helpful. This commentary is still meaningful. Just keep in mind that it is before the 10% damage nerf went into the game. So, what I'm going to do first off is I'm going to try to get aggressive on these guys. We're playing a Monk TSG, which is one of the strongest comps in the game right now, I would say. I'm going to start off with the fear on that Monk and get his Nimble Brew. Nimble Brew is an ability that gets monks out of fears and stuns, so if you use another stun on them right after Nimble Brew, it's going to be immune anyway, so you got to wait a few seconds before we go in for that Hodge. We do land the Hodge, but our initial damage does end up getting a bubble out of the Monk. So we got the Life Cocoon out of the way, we got the Monk into a stun out of the fear, into a half trap now. So we've got our CC chain rolling, and you guys are fairly familiar with what that CC chain looks like. Out of the half trap, I'm going to hit Monk with a charge stun, which is something that I want to talk about. When I'm playing against melee cleaves like this, I usually go with a Warbringer Blitz build. So in terms of my glyphs, I'm going Blitz. In terms of my talents, I'm going Warbringer, I'm going Safeguard, and I'm going Shockwave. Shockwave is really nice against these guys because my Hunter and my Paladin can use their stuns to set up CC together, and I can use my Shockwave stuns on the 2 DPS pretty much every time, because as a melee cleave, these guys are most likely going to be hitting the same target for the entire game, or at least trying to. So whenever they connect, I can hit them both with the Shockwave, effectively peeling them both for a couple seconds, letting my Hunter get away, letting my Paladin get some, or healer get some casts off, depending on what my healer is. And the whole time, I'm going to pretty much try to have Thunderclap or Hamstring on both of these DPS. Going to keep Sweeping Strikes rolling, keeping Rens on both of them. Just trying to get the damage spread across. Now, I'm not going to be doing a ton of damage to the Death Knight just with Thunderclap, Sweeping Strikes, and Ren, but it's still a good idea to have that damage rolling. Because right now, my job when I'm playing KFC versus this comp is just dealing as much damage as possible while peeling these DPS. Just being a really disruptive force to their attempts to train a target. Because TSG is definitely a comp that's going to win off of damage. They just have to try to deal as much damage with the little CC they have to, you know, outpace whatever our team is capable of doing. Luckily, we peeled well enough and CC'd really sharply and kept that Monk out of the game long enough to score a kill. Alright, leading us into our next match, it's going to be Holy Paladin KFC against WLS. Now, we talked about this matchup last time, and since then, our strategy in this game is not going to change. With the 10% damage nerfs, I'm not sure going Shaman first is going to be a viable option, but that's what we're able to do in this game. We're going to run right at that Shaman. I'm not even going to get off my mount. I'm going to wait for the freedom from my Paladin to make sure I can get through there. The reason I dismounted there is because I finally got in line of sight for a charge and can get it off. So, one mistake I make here is I feel like right at this point I could already be popping cooldowns. This right there should have been Recklessness. I should have gotten that Colossus Smash with Recklessness off, getting a few slams rolling while my Hunter power shots him against the wall. I could have had a big crit Mortal Strike with right there, but don't have cooldowns up. Still doing tons of damage at this point. I'm going to fear the Warlock there just to try to make it so the Warlock is unable to peel us as well, because if our objective is to hit the Shaman with as much power as we can, then stopping the rest of his team from peeling for him is going to be really important. Because right now, the reason why we're hitting Shaman in the first place is because we're going to make this game a race. We're going to say, okay, Warlock and Warrior, you guys can't get that tremendous spread pressure that you need and that you're capable of before we kill your Shaman. So by limiting the Warlock's ability to dot us and fear us, we're stopping his CC, but also preventing him from getting the dot pressure that will eventually make this game go not in our favor if we're unable to get the kill. Luckily, we're able to have a really, really strong start, peel that opener, put as much pressure on the Shaman in a sort of bad position as we can, and do our damage and end up scoring that kill. So once again, Train the shaman, not the most skillful strategy, but in the case of, hey, do you want to get the win or not? You know, sometimes you got to do what you got to do. It's not our favorite strategy, but you know, it certainly is effective. Now, keep in mind that we've also killed warlocks post-patch. We've killed shamans, and we've also killed warlocks when facing WLS, so keep in mind both these strategies are somewhat effective, but sometimes you just gotta train that blue. Alright, so this next matchup is gonna be against another extremely popular 3v3 arena comp, which I think is probably, like, responsible for the 10% across the board damage nerfs, because ferals and hunters are both dealing intense damage. Now, this hunter is not playing BM, though, so he's playing marksman, which means he's gonna be looking to set up some insane burst by probably just, like, standing still and just unleashing the damage upon us. So we're gonna have to be on the lookout for that. Now, in this matchup, since he is marksman, that's why we're gonna hit him. So I'm able to fear the paladin right off the bat. Normally, I would hold my fear until the feral comes out so that we can hit the feral. But since the hunter is marksmanship, we're gonna hit him first. Now, here is the insane opener of these guys. Luckily, I'm able to get my trinket and parry off before the feral just chain stuns me to death. And we're able to land a trap on the paladin. So our opening CC chain, once again, was fear. He bopped the fear into a hodge from my paladin into a trap from my hunter. And once again, we're still going to try to hit this hunter. Because even though ferals are a squishy target, if you leave a marksmanship hunter to just stand there and unleash his damage, it can be a very scary situation. And that, combined with the fact that marksmanship hunters aren't as tanky as BM hunters, makes the marksmanship hunter a great target to hit during this arena match. So once again, two things that I'm noticing in this session of arena matches is, it sounds kind of silly, but I should be even more aggressive with my offensive cooldowns. So right now, I'm popping offensive cooldowns to sort of match the aggressive offensive pressure this enemy team is putting out. However, I'm popping my cooldowns after our CC chain has ended. And as KFC, it would be better to pop cooldowns essentially as soon as your first CC's hit, for a couple different reasons. One, it's going to force cooldowns out of your enemy team. You're also going to have all your trinket procs, all your weapon procs, so you're going to be dealing a ton of damage in that period of time. And it's one of the things that I feel like people give KFC a hard time about. But that's how KFC works, especially after the damage nerfs. What you really want to do is maximize your damage during the burst window that you have set up by your CC chain. So even though it sounds silly, I think one of the better plays that I could have made, especially since I have CC already set up with my Holy Paladin Hunter, is as soon as I land that fear, even though he bopped it, go ahead and pop cooldowns off of that, because I know the Hodge and the Trap are coming. That is going to get some serious cooldowns out of the enemy team, at least a trinket or something out of the Paladin, in order to deal with the amount of damage we're putting out. So although my cooldowns ended up being pretty effective, I still think that it would be better to, as soon as that first CC lands, go ahead and get those cooldowns early, because they will be effective. Nice little charge focus kick here, but they will be effective, and they'll be up sooner later on in the game once the enemy team does not have any sort of defensive cooldowns to deal with it, and you also have your CC chain all set up, and then that's when cooldowns come in and hopefully score you a kill. But essentially, the thing that I'm learning here is pop cooldowns earlier. I know it sounds silly, but the conditions are right for you to pop cooldowns. The enemy team is in CC. By using your offensive cooldowns, you're going to force a response out of the enemy team, oftentimes in the form of defensive cooldowns and even trinkets. And that sets you up for scoring kills later on in the game when your offensive cooldowns and CC rotation comes off a cooldown. Alright, so let's get back in the game, because this is getting down to the wire right now. They've been putting on a ton of pressure on my hunter, but we have their hunter very, very low at this point. So I'm going to mass reflect the enemy feral cyclone, stormbolt the paladin. The paladin is going to bubble because he knows a trap is coming. Both of our paladins have bubble up at this point. They're just kind of running at each other with their bubbles up. The feral is still in that cyclone while the hunter deters. So we've got a big cooldown out of the paladin. He's not going to have a trinket again for 50 seconds. The enemy hunter is going to throw a trap at my paladin that I can't stop because I used mass reflect earlier on the clone. Luckily, our hunter is still at full health, so he's not in extremely dangerous position that's going to lead him to death, so you would think. But with a feral and a marksmanship hunter having free damage on him at this point, he could definitely start dropping low. So he's going to run back towards my paladin, who's also in a clone right now. My hunter does manage to hit the enemy feral with the wyvern sting, which is going to give himself some self-peel right now. And the whole time, I'm just dealing damage to this hunter. He's getting really low right now. I see my avatar is coming up soon, along with my fear. So I'm going to very soon start to be looking to fear this paladin and see if we can't try to score a kill off of that. Both my charge and fear are off cooldown, so I'm going to focus charge the paladin, hit him with the focus fear, and try to get back to the hunter as soon as I can. I did make sure to use a rend on the hunter before I left. So my rend is ticking right now. I'm going to heroic leap and get the execute right on the hunter as the paladin has 1 second left in the fear. So that was a pretty intense game with a lot of... We slowed it down a lot, but when I played this game was extremely fast-paced and a lot of fun. So I kind of liked the pacing of the game before the 10% damage nerf. We're getting used to it now. It is sort of demanding some changes to our playstyle. And I'll share those changes with you guys in future videos. But I have one more set of Arms Warrior 3v3 arena matches that I want to do some commentary for. And after that, we'll start posting the post 10% damage nerf games as well. But like I said, guys, these games are still things that you can learn from. The strategies are similar. The CC chaining, the sort of target selection. A lot of these things are very, very similar and hopefully helpful to you guys. And like I said, I'm very, very happy to post these commentary videos because I enjoy posting them and hopefully you guys like them. If you do, be sure to give them a thumbs up. Leave me some comments with any thoughts or suggestions of what you might like to see in the future. I'm also working on a 6.1 Arms Warrior guide. I know you guys are looking forward to that as well. We'll have that for you as soon as I can. But like I said, guys, thanks so much for watching. Be sure to show these videos some love if you enjoy them, and I'll see you guys next time. Peace!